All right, welcome to another episode of Standup Memories with Jackie Martling and the one and only Carie Karavas.
What about you?
Oh yeah, that's right. I am Peter Bales.
Almost stumped you, didn't I?
You stumped me. And we're having fun with Carie Karavas.
This is so smooth that he did the clacker and then action.
And here we are.
I know last week we rambled a little bit, and I think we're both to blame for that, obviously not our guest, but I insist that that's the way it's the best. But now be a little serious if you possibly can and ask Carie about how we met, how you met.
I think our first show demonstrates why we need to have our first female guest and talk about some of these issues that men in comedy and men in general are uncomfortable talking about. And I want to hear about Carie, her whole career, and her career, by the way, continues smashingly. Carie Karavas, live everywhere, and a terrific special called Men.
Flaws. Are you really that stupid?
That was a joke.
Oh.
Men, Flaws, and Menopause, available on Amazon. So check that out.
And I think this is great for people because they don't get to hear women talking about comedy and
we,
the whole...
we are making stupid jokes.
Well,
and she's got a serious... Actually, what your message is very serious and important. People need to hear
There
it.
weren't many women back then. It was like a handful of
When
us.
did you start? Like what year?
Full force, 1990. I started dabbling 87. I was in LA doing some little coffee shops and whatnot, but I didn't really go into it till 1990.
So that's... You knew her from the clubs and stuff,
her,
but I was already buried in the Stern Show, so I didn't get to know you till Friars Club.
But you're a Long Island actor.
Right, I started in Long Island, but I was just finishing up makeup school in LA in 85, 86, and then I hung out at the Comedy Store every night. And
makeup school, like a actual school?
Yeah, for horror makeup and, movie makeup. So we hung out at the Comedy Store on Sunset Strip. So I got to see Dice Clay. I got to see all these great comedians.
That was
Gary
the heyday.
Shandling,
That was the heyday.
Arsenio Hall, you name
them.
Sam Kinison, one of the best. So many of them.
Now, were you going down there to hang out after school, or were you going up too?
No, we went to hang, and I just got so into it, and I just loved it. I was like, I want to do this. So I went to school in Manhattan. I went home. I lived in Manhattan. I took Gabe Abelson's class.
Gabe Abelson.
That's right.
Future guest on Stand-Up Memories, without a doubt.
That's so. I just recently back in touch with him in the last month.
He was a writer for David Letterman.
He was Letterman's head writer for like...
Right, but before he became that,
okay.
he was my teacher.
Yeah.
And then and I took a class with his wife at the time. She was just a student,
Vicky.
And we became friends. And then we just
Now, where was he teaching?
Comic strip.
Okay.
Oh,
I didn't know. The comic strip had a class for the longest time.
Oh, he was a nice guy, Gabe.
He was a very great guy.
So with that said, and then I just came back to Long Island, and I did every club every night of the week, 7 days a week, 2 times, 3 times a night. I did Vegas. I did Atlantic City. I had to deal with Kephart with the eyebrows.
All right, explain this to our audience in Ireland and Indiana. Kephart booked, what did he book?
The Tropicana in Vegas and in Atlantic City.
And Atlantic City.
So he liked me, he liked my, he was a rough guy to work for. But he would come in and he would say to you, like Monday night you'd go up and you wouldn't have a great set. I was an MC. So he'd come up to me and he'd go, yeah, listen, tomorrow I want you to do a whole half hour of gambling jokes only. And I'm like, how am I going to write gambling jokes? So the next night I would go up and do the same act and it would do great. Yeah. And then he'd go, see, I told you. I'm like,
club owners. I said,
so
Richie Tinkin, who owned the comic strip, used to say,
Richie.
Comedy club owners are the worst breed in the world, and I'm the best of the worst. He said, of all those assholes, I'm the best.
He was a nice
guy. And he really was.
He was a nice
Richie
guy.
Tinkin, very
he
special.
He was a very nice
guy. Made a big difference in my career. Now, when did you realize, wow, I'm good? Do you have a moment when when did you finally find you got to see Carie live or her special. Should
we show another clip?
Want to show another clip?
Of course
we have
I do.
another clip? Carie does not hold back, and she does a lot of things
Here's
that
a clip from
other comics can't do.
Carrie's
Special entitled Menopause, Men, and
Men, flaws, and menopause. Let's just do
many
that.
flaws.
Another minute. I'm gonna
Many
get up and-
flaws. Men have many flaws.
and menopause.
I like men have many flaws.
Men have many flaws.
Are we going to shut up and play the clip?
Clip?
Play the clip.
Roll them.
I'm very tired of the whole Halloween thing already, and we haven't even had Halloween, okay? You people know exactly who you are. Overboard, the overboard people. You know what I'm talking about? You ever pass a house, it's like haunted, you got dead bodies on the front lawn, and then on Halloween you knock on the door and he won't answer. You're like, really? Go over there and break the door down. Break it down until he gives us candy. Go ahead. Then that one guy that leaves the bowl. Take one, really? I'm not taking one, I'm taking the whole bowl. How about that, fucker? My kids are hungry. It's crazy, and we're paranoid now, right? Nobody wants to let their kids walk anymore. I have one friend, she's got a fat kid, she drives him trick-or-treating. She drives the fat kid to the candy. Isn't that hilarious? I'm like, what are you supposed to be, a passenger? That's a hell of a costume.
Oh my God, that was a great clip.
Oh, shut up.
You didn't think it was any good?
I can't watch myself. It's
It
the
is-
most excruciating pain I can endure.
If you're in a movie and you know your scene is coming
can't,
up,
it's horrible.
you hide under the seat
It's
like your
hard.
girlfriend at a horror movie.
It's hard.
You realize that you say things on stage that so many women in the audience wish they could say.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you hear that after the show, right? It's just so much fun.
Well, they say to me, you know, my husband, oh, you must know my husband, oh, you remind me of my sister, you know.
Yeah, were you following me with a camera type thing? You know?
Yeah, I don't think any comedian ever really thinks they're great. I mean, even Dave Attell, who's my idol, right? Because that guy's brilliant. He'll come out after a show at the Cellar and he just destroyed. He'll be like, I was having a sinus. I wasn't that good tonight. I'm like, what are you talking about? So, I mean, it's the comics that
It's innate. Like you freak out before you go on. And Chris Rock said one of the funniest goddamn things. He said, we don't get paid for going on stage. We get paid for the 20 minutes before the show. Mm-hmm. Because you sit back there and anybody who just goes, I'm going to be great, you know, that's not part of the breed, you know. It's like, Jesus Christ, what can go wrong? What will go wrong?
Right,
you know.
right. So you never think you're great. So when I did finally stop panicking before I got on stage, that's what you want to ask me?
Yeah.
Is when I stopped giving a shit. I don't care anymore. You want to hear it?
Is that good or bad that you don't care?
It's good because now all my shows are great. But when you care and you're worried and you're stressed out, I remember industry.
Like if you think you have the weight of the world riding on this.
Right,
You know.
like I had industry come see me at the Improv in LA. And I got to tell you, I ate it so bad, and I'm outside in the room, like I was ready to, you know, I was almost ready to cry. It was so bad because they stare at you. Now, if I were to go in front of industry, I wouldn't give a shit. I'm like, you're not laughing. What is wrong with you? You know, like I would be me. But you don't have that when you first start. You know, and that's when they want
it's
you.
a slow.
Right, that's when they want you. They want you when you're green.
And I've seen you change in that way. I remember working with you back in the day, and it would be not unusual for you to walk in the room, turn to the other comics and go, these people are going to hate me. And then you'd walk away, and I'd turn to the other comic and go, Carie always says that. And then you come in and you kill. But
I always say that. I always
but
say
you don't
to,
say- you
but
don't-
I don't
do it
say it
anymore.
anymore. No, I don't
Yeah,
say it anymore because
yeah.
I don't care if you hate me.
good.
But here's the thing, like
You
I would,
do, only it's back here
not really.
and not up front.
No, not really.
Yes.
COVID changed me. No, but no. So you're right. Like I would always go in the green room, and I would look at the crowd, and I'd be like, "Ugh, these people are gonna hate my guts. They're gonna hate me." And then, like you said, they don't really hate you, you know. But
No, you kill. That's what happens, is you kill. But I always say this, when comedians go to the diner, we talk about the bad shows, the nightmares, the smoke alarms, the industry show that didn't.
Yeah,
go
that's a beauty.
because 99.9% of the time, every night is great, but you remember.
That's the old,
That's
did
the
you hear
old-
Richie Miniveri had a killer show in Kansas City? No. Did you hear Rob Bartlett had a killer show
No.
in Maine? No. Did you hear that Peter Bales
Got punched
really
in the
ate
face.
it? And yeah, he
Oh,
got punched in the
punched
face in Dallas.
face.
Oh,
Yeah, tell me,
Those
tell
are
me,
the
tell me.
stories that go around, right?
That's-
Well, of course, that's in everything.
it's fun.
So you've had stuff go wrong. I mean,
I had the mic go out, and I had to do my act with no mic.
I know. That,
But thank God, I have a big enough mouth. I didn't need the mic.
I was working for the Jewish
Yeah, it was
Society
actually-
outside of Philadelphia, and it was a bunch of people in the big round tables like you have at a dinner, and the sound system just didn't work. And I literally stood on one of those big round tables and did the show,
yelled.
and
And yelled.
they were thrilled.
Yeah.
Because when you make do, you know.
have no choice.
But meanwhile, the whole time you're up there, the
You
flop
want
sweat.
that $200.
Luckily, it was more.
I just thought of it. Carie was working at the Nassau Coliseum, and the mic went out, and she had no problem with her
Oh
voice.
yeah, they heard it. They heard her in
One
the background.
time I got booked. Now, back in the day, I was a little, I'm not, my content of my material isn't dirty. I could tone it down on the curse words. But back in the day, I had dirty content. It was about sex and whatever. So Tom and Genio books me at a country club in New Jersey. I get there, and the guy takes me to the side, and I brought Bernadette Pauly to do 10 minutes before me, and they goes, no, she can't go on, it's just you. All these are baskets that they did the raffles, right? He goes to me, there's no sexual innuendos, no cursing, no this is a Christian show. I called Tom up, it was a Sunday. Are you crazy? What are you doing to me? I don't want to do this. It's like me doing a bachelor party.
I'll tell you what he was doing. He was getting 10% of whatever you
Yeah.
got booked for.
10?
There's a
15.
front row table of priests in costume. Okay? Or whatever. In their
They were dressed like the
Costume, that's great.
Frankenstein and the werewolf.
And that
they
and
got the thing on.
had
it
the
is a costume.
No, whatever it is.
They had the clerical collar.
Their outfits. I go, are you sure she can't do 10 minutes to break the ice? He goes, nope, 45 minutes.
Oh my God.
So I took a pen and paper, and I ran around all the baskets, and I would just started writing jokes about the baskets. I'm like, who wants a basket with cleaning products unless there's a guy with a basket? So I went to table to table to table. I did 40 minutes without cursing, none of my act. I did none of my act, and they loved it. And Bernadette Pauly goes to me, I'm amazed what you just did. I go, it was sink or swim. It was sink or swim. And I had to swim. I couldn't.
That's, I walked into a room, I think I talked about this on the show. I walked into a room in Atlantic City getting paid a lot of money. It was like 6 or 8 big round tables, no microphone, no nothing. They just say, it's in that room. And I walk into the room and they're just done with dinner, about to have dessert. And I just had to walk around, and this is the higher-ups from Coca-Cola in Atlantic City, paying me a lot of money, limo, blah, blah. And I walked around with no idea I have no idea what I said. No, I don't think they said be dirty, don't be dirty. But it's guys with their wives having dinner and no microphone, you know. And I literally had one of those nights where I went to my room and sat there and ordered room service and said, I seriously got to think about never doing this again.
Yes.
And this is in the
I've had
mid
many.
'90s when I'm
No.
full steam. And then the girl who booked me calls me up and says, I'm sorry I couldn't call you till after coffee. They loved you, they're going to pay you double, and they want you to come hang out in the bar. And I'm telling you, they didn't smile, not a laugh,
Nothing.
just, that waspy.
They would come out.
Hey,
I've
waspy
done,
is not a
I've
problem.
done bridal
Well, hey.
showers where they're staring at me and I'm doing a half hour, and then after the show, they come up to me as I'm putting away my sounds.
You were
and stuff.
so great.
No, they would go like this. You were so fun. I'm like, really? Why don't you like? Seriously?
You're supposed to join
Smack
in,
the
lady.
shit out of you, lady. You were so fun. Do you have a card? I'm like, no.
But that's
I've
the
never
one.
had a card.
You don't remember the 45,000 shows you did that were great. You remember those?
Yeah. How about the one where I got booked? This guy comes up to me. I was doing the West Hampton Theater. He comes up to me and goes, do you have a card? I want to book you for a show I'm doing. Okay. I give him Paul Anthony's information. I go, call him. So we negotiate a lot of money. I go to do this. The guy now greets me and he goes, he's in a suit. I go, wow, look at you. I go, you clean up? I go, look at you in your little zoot suit. I go, so what do you do? It's for Lord and Taylor, right? I go, are you the event coordinator for Lord and Taylor? He goes, no. I go, well, what do you do for Lord and Taylor? Because you booked me here. He goes, I own it.
Wow.
I was so blown. I go, what? He goes, I own Lord and Taylor. So I go, you're the owner? So now I'm on stage and I start making fun. His name is Rich, right? I go, even his name is Rich. Even his name is, he owns Lord and Taylor. And these were all his head managers for all his stores, okay? And this guy supposedly is very, very rich. He owns, in Canada, he owns a chain of like Macy's, but they're not Macy's, there's something else.
Whatever.
Anyway, he gave me a $2,000 tip.
A $2,000 tip.
On top of my pay.
And he loved it. And
He loved it because I made fun of him. Anyway, I'm doing Kegel jokes. Nobody's laughing. I go, you can laugh. He doesn't give a shit. But so it was so crazy. My friend Debbie Perlman. Do you know Debbie Perlman?
I know
Of course you know Debbie Perlman. She was
Who's
a comedian.
Debbie Perlman?
She's a comedian from New York City. And you
Okay.
know her from the Friars.
Yeah.
We've hung out together, all of us. Blonde, cute. She calls me up. She goes, hey, I have a quick question. She goes, a friend of mine called me. They were at a dinner in New Jersey. Did you do a benefit for Lord and Taylor? And I go, yes. She goes, I knew it was you. She goes, they called me up. They were like, this girl was crazy. She was cursing. She was making fun of Rich. She goes, I just freaking knew it was you.
You know,
That's such a great situation. I went to Iraq with Bo Bice, and I did 45 minutes of comedy, and he did 45 minutes of country
Where did
rock.
you go?
Iraq.
Oh, Iraq.
And we jumped around to, like 12, I think 14 shows in 12 days or something. And one of the shows was in like a tent where almost like a mess hall, but a huge one. And they all come. It's packed. And there
course
was
they
one table
The hell else is
with
there to
one
do in
guy
Iraq?
sitting at it. So of course you go nuts. Oh, here's a guy sitting with all his friends type thing,
Yeah.
and just attacked and attacked. It was the goddamn 4-star general. That's why nobody was sitting. And
Nobody was laughing
and
either.
the guys are going wild because I'm
Oh, you're making fun of
and
yeah.
he loved it.
He
But
loved
if you knew that going in,
Right.
You know.
Right. You
now, a
would've
little
kept it.
trivia here. Lord and Taylor. Lord stands for God. When the original creator of Lord and Taylor started the company, Taylor was the last name. Lord referred to God because he
the
wanted.
first time he told me this, I thought it was leading to something. But
Not-
he's telling
it
the
did-
truth.
Right.
I never
It
knew
didn't
that.
lead to anything.
All right, now
either.
listen. Sears and Roebuck is an interesting. All right, now
All
listen.
right, look, you got 2 minutes. Wrap
I know.
it up.
I know.
Wrap it up.
Okay, listen. I would like to add something to Carie getting a $2,000 tip, Jackie getting paid double. I don't have a similar story.
Yes, you do.
When did I ever get a tip? after
Tell
a
him about
comedy-
that television babe
What television babe?
that escorted you to your room after the show. Look at him blush.
Barbara Eden. Barbara Eden.
One of them.
That's an urban
Dawn
legend.
Wells.
Thank God we're out of time.
Maybe
I mean,
it was Bob Denver.
Thank God we're out of time.
Thank
Israel.
Thank God
This
we're
is
out
a
of time.
horrible
This
story.
is fun.
So far, I would say we just did 2 shows, and
Yeah,
Carie hit 10 out of 10 both shows.
absolutely. So let's just sign off this show.
I thought that's what we're doing.
This has been a lot of fun talking to Carie Karavas, terrific stand-up comedian, with a special that you need to get on Amazon entitled...
It's free.
It's free?
Yeah. If you have Amazon Prime.
If you have Amazon Prime, it's free. And her special is called, Jackie?
Men of Flaws. Men, flaws, and menopause. I knew it from the very beginning.
Men, Flaws, and Menopause.
And I think we just came up with a great name for a comedy special.
Yeah.
It's free.
2 Muppets.
Wouldn't that be a great name for the show? Not yours, just somebody's show. It's free.
I think Menopause is pretty funny, too. Now, this is fun. So, check Carie Karavas out live. Or
She called
on
us the 2 guys from the Muppets.
You are. The
I'm
2
not
old
even
bags
insu-
from
I'm
the
not
I'm
Muppets.
not insulted. I think
I'm
they're
not insulted.
funnier
I
than
thought
hell.
that
They
were
are
very
very
funny.
funny. And you look exactly like them.
Thank you.
Which one is he?
Does it matter?
We're coming
don't-
back next week with another great show with Carie Karavas, and of course Jackie will be there, and I will be there, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is
And many paws.
This is Stand-Up Memories.
That was a pretty good episode.
A new episode every Wednesday with me, Peter Bales, Jackie the Joke Man Martling, comedians, interesting people. Leave a comment. We'll get. What am I saying?
I don't know.
We're gonna get back to you. We will respond to your comment.
StandUpMemories.com. If you go there, it shows all the different
All
platforms.
Spotify. We're on everything.
Every Wednesday.
Stand-Up Memories.
Every Wednesday.
A new episode.